In a small town somewhere near Milan lies an old, long-abandoned paper factory. For almost half a century left to decay, nature has relentlessly reclaimed the vast grounds. A thick, almost sprawling vegetation has grown into a true green hell, swallowing the remaining structures piece by piece. Join us as we explore this remarkable lost place. The very first paper mill on this site dates back to the mid-18th century, though none of those early buildings have survived. The major development of the industrial complex came much later, and most of the structures still standing today were built during the large expansion phases of the 1930s and the 1960s. At the beginning of the 1960s, the factory reached its highest output, producing around 80,000 tons of paper per year and employing approximately 2,500 workers. Before 1937, the mill purchased pulp externally, the essential fiber raw material used in paper production. With the major expansion beginning in 1937, cellulose production was established on site, allowing the factory to process its own pulp directly for the first time. This building, constructed in 1950, was the heart of chemical pulp production on the site, where large industrial digesters transformed wood chips and chemical liquor into the fibrous material used throughout the mill's processes. This building requires a lot of attention and focus during a visit, as its floors are unstable, large holes have opened up in many places, and the overall structure is in very poor condition. Pulp production began with cutting logs into small wood chips, which were then fed into a massive pressure-resistant digester. There, the chips were cooked with white liquor, a mixture of sodium hydroxide and sodium sulfide, until the lignin, the natural binder that hardens wood, dissolved. What remained were nearly pure cellulose fibers. These fibers were washed, cleaned, and screened in several stages. Finally, the finished pulp was pressed into sheets or compacted into bales, ready to be used in the paper-making process. This building was one of the two large paper machine halls on the site and housed the Macchina Continua, which was constructed in 1950. Here, The bleached and prepared pulp was transformed into an endless sheet of paper, the actual final product of the entire factory. The hall was originally a spacious multi-story production area that contained the enormous rollers, drying cylinders, and drive units of the paper machine. Today, the building is in very poor condition. Its structure is weakened, many areas have collapsed or remained open, and falling stones are a constant risk. Exploring it demands great attention and concentration, and every step should be taken with care. This is the building of the former boiler and recovery plants, where the large Tomlinson boiler once stood. Here, energy and important chemicals for pulp production were recovered from the burnt black liquor, a central component of the entire factory operation. Today, only the skeleton of the former multi-story building remains. After a long economic decline, the factory stopped operating in the mid-1970s. Growing competition, outdated equipment, and repeated floods from the nearby river made it impossible to continue production. Once the machines were removed, the large site was left to itself for decades. The buildings fell into decay as nature steadily reclaimed the site, covering everything with dense vegetation, and the area eventually became one of the region's well-known industrial ruins. In the following decades, there were several attempts to redevelop the property, including local ideas to turn it into a technology or cultural area. Private initiatives also tried at times to secure parts of the site or put them to new use, but all of this remained without lasting success, and the ruins still quietly tell the story of the place's industrial past.